Hi, everybody. Welcome to Niners Radio 49, another edition of 49ers Live tonight with yours truly, Professor B. We're here at Stonestown in San Francisco at the Pete's Coffee here in Stonestown here in the city of San Francisco, the southwest in San Francisco. We're just right in that middle, right near Lowell High School and in the middle of Stonestown, and then, of course, is right near the campus of SF State College. So welcome to 49ers Live tonight. We'll be on for the next hour and 20 minutes before they'll close around 7 o'clock local time. We're going to get you just straight right. I'm not going to beat around the bush. We're going to go you straight up to the what's going on. 49ers getting ready to take on the Miami Dolphins for an interconference matchup. Of course, this is a matchup. There is history between these two teams that go way back. You look at it, the 49ers and the Dolphins in there. So we'll be going into that. We'll start it off with the players from 49ers headquarters early in the day in the press conference. Their thoughts about how to finish the season strong. There's still an outside chance if they can win all three of their regular season games, they have a chance to finish with a winning record. There's salvage what's left. It's been a really difficult year, coming off a heartbreaking loss in the Super Bowl around this time 10 months ago. So, there's still lots at stake. Of course, early in this week, the 49ers end up suspending Devontae Campbell from his ugly outburst last Thursday night on Thursday Night Football in their loss, 12-6 loss to the Rams, which that could have been the difference of their season. And, just it's just, Niners are turning the page from that debacle. But so just a lot of you guys come on, checking us out on checking us out online, and we're glad you guys are joining in. We're not going to have open lines tonight. We're gonna kind of pass on that. So the Niners are 7-8 all time versus the Dolphins, and the last time the two teams hooked up, the Niners won convincingly 33-17. But in recent times, one. Of course, in the all-time series, We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. The way they are pushing this.
Actually was thinking in my own head earlier. I was like, last time I was like, I don't think I played in this stadium. And then I went back to 2019. I was like, yeah, we did play here. But no, not no mixed feelings at all.
Brock got his real first significant action against the Dolphins a couple of years ago. What do you remember about that game? Jimmy goes down and Brock's in there and obviously played really, really well.
Yeah, I remember Brock coming in and winning the game for us. It felt like he was already there before. And yeah, he came out with a dub.
For everything you guys have been through this year as a team and you individually, how important is it to finish these last 3 games?
Well, it's all about
Playing
finishing.
well.
It's all about finishing strong for sure. That was Cal's message. Finish strong. And, let's see who want to really be a part of this team, and finish strong and just move past it and just see where things fall.
Nick talked about that being like good momentum into the offseason and next year. How do you feel the same way as far
Oh
as?
yeah, for sure. We get these next couple of dubs, and it ain't nothing but motivation for us. Like getting back to work whenever we got a report back, and it'll be a little motivation for sure.
Devo, as a part-time running back, I assume you have dealt with Bobby Turner a lot in your career. What are how would you describe his coaching style, his influence on you?
I joke with Bobby every day, every chance I get. That's why we became so close. But man, overall, Bobby just so detailed. Y'all might think he's serious all the time, which he is, but he got a little joke in him here and there. But Bobby's one of my favorite coaches around here, for sure.
When you talk about details, guys have talked about, people talk about you're an inch off here.
Yeah, for sure.
So are there any other things like that where he's more detailed than most coaches?
Sometimes when I be in the backfield, sometimes we talk to go 7.5. Sometimes I go 8 because he was like, how fast I hit it or whatever. So he was like, I can use a little leeway. You can go half a yard, deeper than normal. But the 7.5, he wants you to be 7.5, not 7.5.2. But overall, man, it's just love Bobby for sure.
How much do you enjoy the holidays being a dad?
Oh man, that's the best thing in the world. We was off last week, man. We went to Disney. He had a great time there, and Christmas coming up. I'm pretty sure you're ready for that.
This locker room is known for being super close. Do you feel like that closeness is still the same since you've been here?
Oh yeah, for sure. It definitely is.
I mean, even with the Devontae Campbell thing
Yeah.
that happened, did it almost galvanize you guys a little closer?
No, I don't think it changed anything.
Have you ever been around another coach like Mike McDaniel, just the kind of character that he is?
No, I don't think I have.
What stood out about him when you were with him?
He's 100% serious all the time, but you may not think he's serious because he shits and giggles here and there. But overall, man, Mike was one of my guys as well. I haven't talked to him in so long. But overall, he was, he's a good coach here.
You like his fashion choices?
Yeah, I always joked around with him, but I was like, bro, you too short for your feet to be that big.
I've heard he wears 2 big shoes that are a couple sizes bigger than his feet.
But I don't know. I always said that, but he was like, nah, they fit. So, I mean, if it fit, it fit.
Fred, you have had a couple, 2018, 2020, and like most of the same, with the exception of 2020 when he wasn't around. he's never in his football career at any level experienced like kind of, forgive me, but quote unquote meaningless games. Like when you're out of contention.
We still got a chance. What is it, like less than one? Less than 1%?
No, I apologize. Yes, you do.
Sorry, Rick. Yeah.
But I mean, does it? Obvious question maybe, but what does it take as far as a different mindset or a different approach when you like? There's not that like the same juice as far as we are actually playing for a big prize.
Yeah, I mean, it is, unfortunately, there is a difference. But at the same time, pride is a very powerful motivator. In this league, the moment you decide that you're going to go out there, you're going to half-butt it and not give your all when you're in between that grass or in between those white lines on that grass, and you put bad stuff on film, like that's who you are. You're judged in this league by what you put on tape every single week. So playoffs, no playoffs, playing 3 good teams to finish this year off. And honestly, I want to finish strong heading into next season, because that carryover is real.
Kind of following up on that, Fred, Bosa said it, I think you kind of alluded to the idea that you're going to find out who wants to be here over these next few weeks. Every year there's plenty of turnover, but when you have a season like this, does it feel like this could be kind of the last few opportunities you get to play with some of the guys that you've been with for a long time right now?
Yeah, I mean, we've been able to keep a lot of the core pillar guys for a long time, but at the end of the day, like each year, each team is different. It's about what you do with that new team, that new group. Like I said, I truly believe that we need to finish strong throughout the rest of this season. The off-season things will happen however they're going to happen, but I'm just focused on the here and now.
I think people sometimes just overlook the value of getting to play. I mean, to still go out there with your guys 3 more times, regardless of what's going to happen.
No, I mean, that's a great perspective, honestly, and I think it does get overlooked because you see, especially with our team, the guys that have gone down and they would give everything to be out there, just to have another shot at being able to play, especially, like I said, we got 3 big-time games coming up, and regardless of the situation, it is a blessing to be out there, to strap it up. Every time I go out, I come in the locker room before a game and I see the pads with the 49er jersey on it, and I'm in year 7, and it still gives me goosebumps just even looking at that. So it's always going to mean a lot.
You've been here for several years now with Dre, and I know you talked about it the other night. Now there's a couple more days to think about it and see the film. Now, how amazing was it? I mean, for the injury that he had to play like he played, how amazing was that?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I've seen it too often now. He has dealt with some significant injuries in his time here, but the guy is unbelievable. From a physics standpoint, I think Achilles is probably the hardest injury besides an ACL to come back from in this league, and the way that he moved on Sunday, you would never have known that he went through that, right? And so, this guy is unbelievable, and he'll only continue to get better from here on out.
Did that give you any shades of 2021 when he missed almost the whole season, and then that must-win game came in, was flying around against
Yeah,
the Rams?
very, very similar, and I think that was against the Rams as well. So, something about those Rams, man, he just plays well.
Fred, you had 15 tackles, not close to 15 tackles some of your previous games. I realize there are actual X's and O's reasons when Dre is in there that you're going to be more productive. Is there also something else to it?
No, I think it's honestly I'm going out every game trying to give it my all every single play. Obviously, I'm trying to make the plays when they're there. Some games are there, some games are not. Some games I'm not going to have as many opportunities. It's about making the most of your opportunities. Like if I have 15 tackles but we lose the game, then I really don't care if I have 15. If we had 3 and we won, then that means a lot. So at the end of the day, what is it going to take to win? That's all I care about.
I know physicality is like an impossible thing to quantify, but how much does he being physical in the run game actually help you?
I think it just helps the entire defense, honestly. From a tone-setting standpoint, from the offense having to be aware of where he's at, where I'm at, where all of us are at, it's just a standard. That's what it's been ever since I've been here. And so just having him back out there, you could see it. It jumped off the tape. It jumped out, even being out there from the first snap. It means a lot having him back out there.
With Devondre Campbell, obviously, regardless of what happened Thursday, looking over the whole season, how did he mesh with you? Was he having a hard time adapting to the scheme? What was him like in the locker room?
No, he was a good dude, man. I'm grateful for what Devondre brought to our team. As a veteran presence. he tried his hardest, even though he wasn't familiar with how we played in our scheme. I think he did a good job throughout the year, getting better. It's just unfortunate how that ended.
One of this team's key emphasis going into the year was finishing strong, for reasons. Fourth quarter has not panned out that way in a lot of games this year. Is it a mentality thing? Is it conditioning? Is it scheme? What is the reason for fourth quarter issues?
It's hard to pinpoint one thing, honestly. I mean, I can sit here and go through a bunch of different things from all three phases of our team, but you know, like you mentioned, we just haven't been able to play complementary at the end of the day. You know, when offense needs us to step up, and then vice versa, it just hasn't worked out that way.
What did you enjoy about having Mike McDaniel around when he was here? I know it's another side of the ball, but just personality and all that stuff.
Yeah, I honestly wasn't too involved with Mike while he was here. He was more so tucked away on the offensive side, but I'm happy for him, happy for the success he's had over Miami, and hopefully not too successful on Sunday.
Thanks, Fred.
All right, guys. Thank you. Yep.
Dre, the other night you mentioned something about that. At this point in your career, you can't afford to be too injured too much anymore. What can you kind of expound on what you mean by that, just in terms of what it means for your career to be healthy and out there every week?
Yeah, I mean, just getting older, so don't want to be always injured. A guy that just can't be available. So, I mean, just got to be extra cautious of just treating my body, making sure that I'm doing rehab, all that good stuff. Just sticking to my routine.
How much do you think about, when you're coming back here, like in the future, you're an unrestricted free agent after this year, like all that kind of thing? I mean, it's life-altering things that you're thinking about. What kind of goes into your mind when you're playing?
Honestly, the only thing that go to my mind is whooping Miami ass and just going to go do it with my brothers, having fun, and enjoying the game. I mean, that's going to come, but you can't think about it. I mean, it's going to come regardless. So I'm just excited to just enjoy the game with my brothers.
Drew, has there been any conversation between your representative and the team about getting you signed and bringing you back here next year at all?
I ain't even talking to nobody about that. I ain't even thought about it. Don't care to think about it. I just want to play the game.
I say in this sport that there's no moral victories, but to miss 305 days, come back and play the way you played, inspire your teammates, isn't that a moral victory?
Every time, man. I love it. I love just giving the inspiration, go out there and play. I wish I could have did it more throughout the season, but, obviously being hurt, couldn't do that. But just being able to go out there and play as hard as I can, I know that's going to inspire the next man beside me, and, it's going to go on through the team.
Drake, Kyle pointed out the 2021 season, you were in at the start, and then you were out for a long time, and you came back and played really well, cold turkey there in week 17. How much did you draw on that 2021 experience to come back this time and be mentally and physically ready to take the ground running?
Yeah, I mean, I knew what to expect as far as just, the speed of the game, making sure my body's prepared to be able to take that much impact and all that good stuff. So, I trained for it. That's what I did. As soon as I messed up my Achilles, I immediately, started rehabbing, preparing, just get my body ready for whatever it's time to come back, that, whatever game it is, I can come back and be myself. So, I have been down the process before. I'm used to it. And so, yeah.
In your dark, you've had a unique perspective. Just kind of they've had to observe this season. What, I guess you could say about 100 games, what's been missing from this team?
I probably say just, I think when you get everybody healthy, we're a really tough team to stop. So I think it was just not by surprise, but it was just, just a year where we had a lot of guys down. So you got a guy like Christian down, you got a guy like BA down, like, man, that's confidence right there. So, I think just probably confidence and just knowing that we can go out there and beat anybody with anybody we got. And I know that's the mindset, but, just having that confidence, and I think it continued to grow throughout the season, just when you got so many new guys, the different pieces, it's hard to get everybody on the same page and know what to expect.
When you, there's the talent they have, but there's also an element of like grit and toughness. Not suggesting guys are replacing capable of football players, but those guys are unique. Is there something to that when you don't have them, you don't have something that's about this team's culture?
Yeah, for sure. I think that is kind of our culture, just, the mindset. I think every player on this team got that. mindset, and they kind of bought into the culture. I think, when you got a lot of new guys and you got a lot of young guys, they're continuing to buy into the culture. And sometimes, you're going to make mistakes. Sometimes you don't know the standards. Sometimes, when you're new or you never seen it, or when you're young, it's like, okay, you don't really know what to expect. So you just, you go through your rough patches, but you continue to just, try your best to keep reaching the standard. And I think guys are starting to buy into that. It's sad that it's later in the season, but I think guys are buying into it.
How can the final 3 games serve as motivation and just getting you back to where you want to be training camp in obviously in the offseason program?
Yeah, I'm just excited to play with my teammates, play with the guys I came in here with, and go play football too. So I'm just trying to take advantage of the moments at the time that I do got left and have fun with it.
Thanks, Dre.
Appreciate it.
All right, injuries for practice today. Trent Williams, ankle, will not practice. Isaac Grendo, hamstring, will not practice. Nick Bosa, hip, oblique, limited. Jalen Moore, hip, limited. Malik Mustafa, chest, limited. Malik. Dre Greenlaw, Achilles, knee, limited. Zakel, illness, limited. Go ahead.
No hamstring from the game.
Yes. Yeah.
Get to a point where Trent maybe just isn't going to play the rest of the season. Value in that.
If he could get back to healthy, we'd play him. But it's not like that right now. So it's getting closer to being that way.
I realize it's the NFL. Guys play with all sorts of injuries all the time. But the decision, with Trent to play him when he was dealing with the ankle, Bosa to play him, they ended up a significant time during a crucial time of the season. Do you have to go back and look at those decisions, or the cost benefit of playing guys when they're not quite right?
Yeah, you always do. Trent, just with what we had, and what we're still trying to deal with, we felt safe putting him out there that it couldn't get worse. It would just stay the same. And Nick, we felt good with his oblique, but he ended up hurting the other one. So it was a completely different injury. But yeah, we do that with everything. We always worry about that stuff, and there's a very fine line in that stuff.
You threw the ball 30 times in this game and you ran it 19 times. I would guess it's because you guys weren't running it effectively. What does the film show? Why are you guys struggling to run it since the bye week?
I think we only had one run for a first down. So I think we had a number of 3 and outs, a number of short drives. Whenever you don't get first downs, whether it's running the ball or passing the ball, you're not going to end up having many runs. And I think we ran for 1 first down in that game. All our first downs were throwing it. I didn't think we blocked as cleanly, but the main thing was not getting enough carries.
Limited, so his bounce back was pretty good from playing his first game.
Yeah, he had I had a good recovery over the weekend. We took care of him here on our bonus day, and he feels good to go today.
27 of the 30 snaps in the first half. I don't know if that was a snap count at all, but why did he play so much in his first game back?
Just because we wanted him to play at least half the game and wanted him available in the fourth, and it's because the drives were so short. There weren't many drives. There was, I think, 4 3 and outs in a row or something like that. So we didn't mind putting him out there each time because he didn't get more than 4 plays in a row, so he felt good. Our plan was to not have him go a couple series in the third quarter, so we could rest him, so we could have him available for the fourth. When he did go out there, he just felt tight and stuff, so that's why we shut him down.
Walter Payton answered your question. Curtis Robinson is the nominee, and other than when he had surgery, he was not missed an event this season. And what does that say about his personality and the example he sets?
It sounds like he acts away from here how he does with us. I don't know all the stuff he does outside of this building, but obviously he does a ton, being a nominee for that. But Curtis is one of the best guys on our team. Every single person on the team loves him, every person in this building, not just how he carries himself and treats people, but how consistent he is and how he works, and he's a very special person.
I'm curious what the phone call was like when Mike McDaniel told you he was officially going to the Dolphins.
It was good. He was excited, a little emotional. I was happy for him and Katie, and it's always something weird or funny when you're talking to Mike too, usually, but no, it was cool. Mike and I have been through a lot together, and I was pumped for him to get that opportunity.
Kyle, off of that What was he like outside of football, off the field?
Mike, how he is when you guys see him, a little quirky. Always saying some off the wall stuff. You get used to it. Half of them you laugh at it, the other half you tell him to chill out. But he's consistent. Mike's a good dude and a real good football coach.
All the Devondre Campbell fallout, Kyle, I'm guessing you addressed this with the team on Monday and have moved on from it. Is that fair to say? And just kind of how they responded or reacted to it?
I think they've acted awesome. I think they've acted awesome. How you'd expect a team. Talked about it for, we didn't see each other over the weekend. So I didn't talk about it a ton after the game, but I could hear from their comments how most of them felt, and addressed it for about 30 seconds in the meeting on Monday. And it's pretty easy to move on.
You haven't spoken to him at all, have you?
No.
Surprise would be like the wrong word to use because you know both of these guys, but for Dre and Huff to miss as much time as they missed and come back and play so well immediately, how do you account for that?
That's what they've done the other times. One of the best games I've seen linebacker play is, I think, 21 when Dre played in week 1 versus Detroit and didn't come back till week 17 versus the Rams. We needed that game to go to the playoffs, and that was the first time I've seen someone miss 16 games and come back and play at that level, so it doesn't surprise me at all. Huff's, he came back earlier in this year, and with having a wrist injury and stuff, he's been able to get ready for this opportunity a little bit more than coming off his Achilles that he had before that. Huff's been chomping at the bit to get back, and he's more ready for that moment.
Those guys help, and the reality of the season probably setting in, but the energy from those two guys, how much does that help and try and maintain some energy in these last few games?
A ton. I think you guys can see how, I think Huff, going out there just the Sunday before, and I think our safeties have played pretty good this year too, but just, Huff the person and his communication and just having him out there, I think was very inspiring. And then adding Dre the next week or 4 days later, one, how good of a player he is and how big of a difference he makes just from that, but the style of how he plays really adds to our defense and makes everyone else better around him, not just adding a good player.
After the season, they're free agents. I know you make those decisions later on, but how do you weigh kind of what they bring to you in that way versus, they're not always available when you're thinking about, keeping them around long term?
That goes into factor in everything. That's what's unfortunate. Nothing those two guys can do differently about it. But those are two of the better players I've been around and two of the better players on our team and two of the main reasons we've had the success here we've had. So hopefully we can do everything we can to work out keeping them here because they're much examples of 49ers as anyone I could think of.
What do you want to see from Purdy in particular in these last 3 games?
Just do his job, move the chains, protect the ball, get the ball to the right people when it's supposed to be, and help us win the game.
Talking about Debo after the game, you did say stats are the stats. You can't change that. Just in the big picture, do you think he's slowed down? Do you think he looks the same this season as he has in previous seasons?
Yeah, I don't think Debo slowed down. I think, I think I think he got banged up earlier in the year. I thought he had an awesome training camp to where I'd say he didn't slow down at all. We were real excited going into the year, and I want to say it was week 2 he got hurt in. I think week 2 versus Minnesota, he had over 100 yards, and then we didn't get him versus the Rams. I don't know if he missed 2 games or 1, but it set him back for a few weeks. And then when he came back, he had the pneumonia, he had a rib thing, and I think that set him off for like a month where he couldn't practice as much. And when you build up a bunch in camp and then you miss a lot of time in practice, it is hard to maintain that stuff. But by no means do I think he's lost it or anything. And then his looks haven't been quite as good this year. Just like for everybody, when the 10 guys around you aren't doing quite as good, whether it's him, whether it's the quarterback, whether it's O-line, you're not going to do as good as you did the year before.
Jacob Cowing his backup?
We got 5 receivers up on game day, and so he's one of them. But Jake, when you're a backup, you go in at all 3 of the spots.
What does Jacob need to do to get on the field offensively more these last 3 games? And is that something that you'd like to see to close out the season?
Yeah, I want him to keep trying to earn it. I think he's come a long way here in this last month. I know he had that setback with the concussion, missing that game. But no, I think he's getting closer to earning more time out there. But usually when Debo's not out there and 21 personnel, Ricky's out there. When we go 11, it depends on the play, but it's always been Conley or Jake for one of the 3, not just one position. They got to back up all 3 in 11.
Where's Ricky's development and adjusting to the offense and just being a key player for you?
I think Ricky's doing a hell of a job. what people, I know everyone talks about the gunshot wound, but what people don't realize is, I think I said a couple weeks ago, but he only had 3 practices before that gunshot wound. He missed all OTAs and all of training camp. And then to get that gunshot before, I mean, basically went from Florida to us halfway through the season. So I thought he did a hell of a job coming back from that, trying to learn and practice as he goes. He's been banged up a little bit, started in Green Bay. I think he's fought through that here the last couple weeks. I thought he did some real good stuff on tape last week, had a couple big catches. But I think he's going the right direction, and hope he keeps improving here these next 3 games.
This is his emotional adjustment after everything happened to him. I know that not getting as many reps or getting as many looks has been challenging for him. How have you seen him respond to that emotion?
Awesome. He just keeps working. Doesn't sit there and pout. I mean, keeps trying to get better at his craft, which usually leads to those things.
Purdy's turnover. It seemed like there was 3 guys. It seemed like they were playing deep, and all 3 guys were open underneath. What was the coaching point there? And can you coach him out of this extreme aggressiveness that he kind of plays with? Take that check down.
Yeah, I don't think Brock's an extreme aggressive guy in terms of, you guys don't see him throw a lot of picks. He doesn't throw into double coverage much. When it's single safety, you want to hold the middle third player and throw a double move on the outside corner. You'd love to be able to check whether he's got a chance or not. But when he did look out there, the guy squatted, and then he bumped him, which is ICT. You can't hit him 12 yards down the field, which stopped Juwan. And then he's got a pass rush coming at him. So it's real easy to say with the clicker in our hand and stuff when he's not on top. But to hold a safety and then look out there, see a guy at a dead stop, and then have a 2 technique coming right at you, he's going to let that go. And what you coach, so in the heat of battle, I always tell the receivers, worst case scenario in situations like that is offensive PI. It's never a pick. I don't care if you have to tackle the guy. So the first thing I look at is, does Juwan stop on the play? Because he's got to protect Brock, and so we can at least survive it and have a chance to overcome the penalty. And he couldn't get to it. Once he stopped him there at the 12-yard spot, he couldn't catch back up. And yeah, I'd love Brock to check it down, but the protection's got to be a little bit better for him to see all that. And the corner did stop, so it was just an unfortunate play.
2 more. Over the weekend, Troy Aikman was pretty insistent about what you should do once the season comes to a close. I feel like you've already answered this question on where your thought process is, but being that such influential voices are trying to, throw in their thoughts of what you should do, is there ever a time where the players are coming to you like, are you thinking about this, coach, or they don't really kind of get involved with having conversations with you about that?
They haven't. It's really unbelievable that's a story, but people just state an opinion and everyone likes to keep repeating it, because there's probably not a lot to talk about with us right now with where we're at. That's what happens, but it's an example of our world in every atmosphere, not just sports. It's kids in high school, it's businesses, it's politics, it's everything. So you just can't make stuff of stuff that's really not the reality of our situation. What I've said is exactly what our situation is, and anyone who's close to me or has a clue what we talk about, I don't think they worry about that at all. So.
Last one, guys. It's easy to second guess now, but Devondre last year on social media said he was done playing through injuries with the Packers, and then that really he ripped it with his app and everything. Do you guys have any hesitation? Is this guy going to be a fit in our culture?
Yeah, of course. We look into all that. It was tough losing Dre. We knew we were going to have to need a starting caliber linebacker. And we had 2 guys that we thought we had committed that we lost in free agency. And then another guy got cut after that and became available. I was with Devondre his rookie year in Atlanta, so I knew what he was capable of. Not that I was real close or anything with the defensive guys, being the offensive coordinator there and everything, but I know we liked him in that building. I know a lot of guys who had coached him who had been good, and we obviously made a mistake. But it's not something that you don't look into. You look into everything, and you weigh the risk and reward of stuff. You weigh the situations that you have, and what decisions you can make in terms of the options. And by no means was it our first option, but at the time, with what went down, we thought it was our best option, and it didn't work out. All right.
All right, that was Kyle Shanahan in his presser talking early. The Niners getting ready to take on the Miami Dolphins in an interconference matchup for this Sunday. It's a 1:25 kickoff time. That will be the late game, the late window part on CBS. I believe that CBS does have that doubleheader. I think so. I believe they do have the late window for the doubleheader on CBS, or it's a. Yeah, they will. It'll be CBS having the full doubleheader this coming Sunday. Niners will take on the Miami Dolphins. That's 1:25 kickoff time, and then that's on CBS. Jim Nance and Tony Romo will be on the mic calling that game, the late game, and then the early game will be the Rams will be at the Meadowlands taking on the New York Jets, and that's the early game. You could that also be on CBS locally. It'll be on KPIX CBS 5 in the Bay Area, and then it's so let's just give you this update from Trent Williams with his ankle situation. Looks likely, all intents and purposes, he will not play this Sunday, at least against the Dolphins. His status for the rest of the season is uncertain. He may not play at all again for the rest of the season. They're going to have to make a decision whether they put him on season-ending injured reserve as see what the status is with that. And then for Ambry Thomas, he got claimed off waivers by the Indianapolis Colts. Thomas with the 49ers just got waived, and he played 510 snaps at cornerback, started 8 games last year. He started both divisional playoff and the NFC championship for the 49ers. So we are going to get ready to go for this timeout, and when we come back, we'll have Niners Radio 49 flashback. We'll take a look back at the night as we continue the pay homage of the 35-year anniversary. 49ers taking on the Buffalo Bills in week number 15. We're paying homage to all 3 of the 5 49ers Super Bowl seasons, 1984, the 40-year anniversary, the 35-year anniversary from 1989 when the Niners won back-to-back Super Bowls, and then 30 years since the last time the Niners won the Super Bowl. But our focus on this time, on this show podcast tonight, is 49ers taking on the Buffalo Bills in week number 15. Niners, we'll get to that when we have our next, during our timeout. So we'll take a break and be right back right after this. Professor B here at Stonestown Mall here in San Francisco at Pete's Coffee. You are watching 49ers Live tonight on Niners Radio 49. We'll be right back. All right, we continue on Niners Radio 49ers Live tonight here at Stonestown in San Francisco. Professor B here. We got one from a Niner fan says, "Let's go Niners. We got to get them to be more physical, dominant team. Where do it go? Injuries are one thing. It seems we run out of gas in the fourth quarter." That's correct, Louis. And that's one of our followers. Lewis, if you're watching, please tell everybody, go to spread the word about 49ers, Niners Radio Live, Niners Radio 49. The website, the address is youtube.com/@Niners Radio 49. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So now, without further ado, we continue as we take a look back of the 1989 San Francisco 49ers, and it was a memorable season being a 49er fan as we get towards the stretch drive. As we get towards that the final couple of weeks of the 1989 season, the 49ers with a win over the 49ers who are coming off that thrilling Monday night, that win over the LA Rams on Monday Night Football and clinched the NFC West. It's end up winning their 5th division title in the past 7. It's actually their 6th division title in the last 7 years, in their 7th since 1981. So the Niners came back down 27-10 at one point, and they would score. They end up scoring 20 unanswered points to win that game. And that was a good Niners, of course. If they don't win that game, if they lose to the Rams will be one game out with 2 to play, and all the Rams would have to do win their final 2 games, and the Niners lose at least one of their final 2 to win the NFC West, and the Rams would win at base of their tiebreaker. So the Niners, we now go into week number 15, and the next to last Sunday of the regular season, and the Niners taking on the Buffalo Bills at Candlestick Park for week number 15. And you guys are going to like this coming up. We're going to set it up in just a few moments. So it'll be just so okay, so as we continue on Niners Radio 49, Radio 49. So we're going to get you ready for the scoreboard of just setting something up right here, week. So we're going to show you this clip right now. In that first segment, we'll look back of the 89 season. And this is a great treat. I love to go back in the time and paying homage to the past. So we now go to week number 15 of the schedule, and we're going to show you the Niners and Bills clip from 1989 coming up. We're just I'm trying to get everything set up. Excuse me. So this is from 1989, week 15 between Niners and the Bills, and this is from the So I hope you enjoyed this clip. It's trying to get it all set up. So it's Niners Bills from 1989, and we're about to show it to you right.
For San Francisco, and then the 49ers sustained the festive spirit of the holiday season for their fans by thrashing the Bears on Christmas Eve. The 49er defense saved its best effort for last, posting San Francisco's only shutout of the season and its first whitewash since 1987.
All right. All right. Just so the Niners went on to win that game 27-10. So sorry about that little bit of a delay. That clip we did right there. That was courtesy of NFL Films and the late Harry Callis, a broadcast legend. Not only he was the narrator, voice of NFL Films, of course, he was the longtime voice of the Philadelphia Phillies. Was the 2002 Ford Seat Frick Award winner, who that is given to the top baseball broadcaster, being inducted to the Baseball Hall of Fame. So, he, of course, passed away back in 2009. I believe died of heart failure while they were on a road trip from in Denver, taking on the Colorado Rockies. Such a sad thing. I got a chance to meet him a couple of times over the years ago when they were in town to play the Giants. In fact, I got a baseball signed by Harry Callis, meeting him one time. So great chance to talk about him in his broadcasting days. He's gone, but never forgot. He's done a lot of great pieces on the 49ers highlight films back in their Super Bowl glory. So many great pieces. Him, John Facenda, and not to mention don't forget the legends, both the late Ed Sable, the father and son duo of Ed and Steve Sable. All of them no longer with us. They're gone, but they're not forgotten. So the Niners coming on with that win, gearing up for postseason play. We're going to take a look at that game from week number 15 as the Niners champions of the NFC West. They've clinched the best record in the top seed in the NFC with only 2 games left to play. So we will take a look. 15 came. That's how it went in week number 15 of the 1989 season. So the 49ers up to this point playing their final 2 games. Meaningless, don't mean nothing, but they want to keep that middle edge as they're getting ready to take that next step towards the beginning of the chance to defend their crown as Super Bowl champs. And the 49ers taking care of business, getting some playing time for other people and some individual goals and setting their own standard. They now 13-2. They next week, when we go back in our Niners radio flashback next week, we'll go to week 16, the final Sunday finale. We'll give you all the races in the wild card in the playoff race. The Niners finishing up the season. They will take on the Chicago Bears in the NFC Championship rematch back in January of '89 when the Niners throttled the Bears 28-3 in the cold to get the Super Bowl 23. Both teams are in opposite directions. The Bears, who lost their game to the Packers, now completely eliminated from the playoff chase in the NFC, shut out of postseason play for the first time since 1983. Now for Mike Ditka and the Bears, 5 straight losses, and it's pretty much Santa's giving Mike Ditka some coal, a lump of coal for the holiday season. Not a good time to be a Bears fan in 1989. Still tough for Bears fans, Chicago sports fans, other than Michael Jordan and the Bulls, who put up the highlight film. A tough year from 1989 because the Bulls lose to the Pistons in 6 games in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then the Cubs losing to the Giants in the National League Championship Series in 1989, which Will Clark just tore up the Cubs. Him and Will and Mark Grace both tearing up, put on a hitting clinic in both in that National League Championship Series. And then the Bears, with all their injuries, falling apart, finishing 6-10. So the Niners will look back at that Niners-Bears game in the regular season finale next week. And tomorrow on Niners Radio 49, we'll take a look back of week number 15, Niners, or week 16, Niners and the Broncos at Candlestick Park. Niners coming in with a 12-2 record, trying to go 13-2 as they're looking for their 10th. The Niners on a roll with 9 straight wins, taking on a Denver Bronco team who are desperately trying to stay alive in the picture, in the AFC playoff picture. The Niners with a 9-game winning streak, 2.5 months earlier, was at the low point when they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles 40-8. But from that point on, the Niners have been the hottest team in football. A win over the Broncos on that in week 16. They're trying to clinch the home field advantage throughout the playoffs as they try to gear for their 5th Super Bowl in franchise history. So that's it for now. We're getting ready to wrap it up. They're getting ready to close here at Peach Coffee here at Stonestown Mall here in San Francisco. We'd like to thank all of you for watching Niners Radio 49 tonight and 49ers Live tonight. We'll be back at tomorrow. We'll preview the Miami Dolphins. Former Niners offensive coordinator and current Dolphin head coach Mike McDaniel. We'll try to get somebody from behind the enemy lines, try to book on somebody either, if not tomorrow, but sometime next week, or on Friday, I should say. Check out the latest news on the 49ers. Go to 49ers.com and our platform, youtube.com/@NinersRadio49. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. For now, Professor B here at Stonestown Gallery here in San Francisco. Thank you for watching 49ers Live tonight on Niners Radio 49. 49ers Live tonight on Niners Radio 49 is exclusive of Niners Radio 49 in association with the Satellite Digital Media News Network. 49ers football, faithful then, faithful now. Have a very pleasant good night, everybody. Take care.